Many of you have asked me, what can I tell Cameroon as a country on what they can do to drive transformational development? Well, Cameroon is a uniquely positioned country to demonstrate the power that can unlock opportunities. Why do I say so? The diversity of the country is an opportunity, not only an opportunity for the country to get ahead, but leveraging that diversity shows unique strengths. Cameroon have the privilege of diversity, and if exercised fully, it can be a big lesson for the entire African continent and the world to emulate. Another great opportunity for Cameroon is her uniqueness when it comes to the structure of her economy. Up to 90% of the entire country is in the informal sector, contributing 50% of the GDP. This shows that informal sector actors participating in the real economy are providing an opportunity to build inclusive world by incentivizing productivity in different enterprises. This is an untapped potential. Cameroon, as we speak today, like many African countries, have elaborated economic development plans. Whether you're talking about the Vision 2035 or the National Development Vision 2030, all these prioritize key inclusive sectors such as agricultural led industrialization to move the country to middle income status. Many African countries are in this stage. The environmental commitments are set out in Cameroon's updated nationally determined contribution, put the country on track to unlock numerous enterprise opportunities that will create jobs for the youth, that will enhance community opportunities, economic economic growth, and put more money in more pockets. But there needs to be implementation of all these policies. For example, Cameroon has set priorities in solar expansion in its nationally determined contributions and taken bold policy steps to incentivize solar investments, such as eliminating taxes for up to 10 years. This presents an opportunity to attract solar power investment in Cameroon. But what needs to be done is that this solar power needs to be tied to powering agro value addition. And that's what I tell the country. And this by tapping into the informal sector, because by incentivizing informal sector with simple solar solutions and decentralizing such solutions to power value addition in the tomato value chain sector alone can see Cameroon recoup up to 200 million US dollars in post-harvest losses and enhance community incomes and ensure food security and create over 1.5 million jobs for people across the country. To strategically incentivize enterprise actions in solar power agro value addition, Cameroon must and should ensure that just a small fraction of its budget, which in 2022 was 5.7 trillion CFA, is set aside. This can be achieved, for example, by providing cash guarantees to unlock affordable financing for enterprise actions that engage in this area, especially for the youth. Cameroon will have invested to drive competitive growth that involves everyone and ensures that the enterprises developed by these actors can be able to pay taxes to replenish government coffers. That is how development is done to drive transformational development. To achieve this, citizens need to commit to knowledge, they need to commit to skills improvement, to establish enterprises in these areas that are already in policy. And government need to refine its policies, especially incentives to target areas that generate the most success, to ensure that the multiplication and expansion of such successes are taken up by citizens. This is how inclusive world can be unlocked for all citizens in the country while ensuring environmental sustainability with the ability to turbocharge the economy, to lift people from the bottom of the pyramid, and ensure that the sustainable development goals for Cameroon are achieved, as well as the African Union Agenda 2063. Why I decided to discuss this today is because the examples of what I've given happening in Cameroon and should happen in a very holistic, synergistic, and system thinking approach is what each and every African country should adopt. What I've just laid out here is an action plan that is investment driven. NDC's investment plan is what I've laid out here. I've laid out clean energy, which is a high priority in all African countries, climate action plans, or their nationally determined contribution. I've talked about agro industrialization, which is a priority in all African countries' NDCs. And therefore, looking at the opportunities to leverage mitigation to power adaptation to add value. You lower emissions, you create jobs, and at the same time, you lift the bottom to the top. That is what is needed. And in the course of doing that, there needs to be what is called sustainable budgeting, which I've used the example of Cameroon. India 2022 budget, 5.7 trillion CFA francs was the budget. Imagine if just 10% or 5% of that budget is allocated to incentivize Tongtings and Jangis and cooperatives and micro to finance to loan to actions that are environmentally related, to drive biodiversity conservation, to drive climate action solutions through the enterprising lens. The country will grow as well as ensures its environmental sustainability is intact. Thank you.